What are the requirements for a home buyer who wants to use gift funds for their down payment and closing costs? And again, my real point here was to talk about gift donors, what's allowable in terms of getting a gift from somebody to help you buy a home. Well, it depends on, whether you're getting an FHA loan or a conventional loan or an FHA loan. These are the two examples I'm going to use. So let's first look at a conforming conventional loan. What is allowable as it relates to acceptable donors? Well, the donors can include the following: a relative, defined as the borrower's spouse, child, other dependent, or by any other individual who is related to the borrower by blood, marriage, adoption, or legal guardianship. Now, you can also have a gift donor who is a non-relative, and that includes a non-relative that shares a familial relationship with the borrower, defined as a domestic partner or a relative of the domestic partner, an individual engaged to marry the borrower, a former relative, or a godparent. And then a third option, as it relates to conforming loans, and this is actually true with FHA too, is, believe it or not, a copy of a wedding invitation to support receipt of gift funds. I bring this up because Realtor.com recently published an article where it's getting very popular for folks who are getting married, that rather than in their registry just asking for all these, kitchen appliances and whatever else they might be asking as wedding gifts, more and more is the case where they're asking for cash donations that they're going to use to save up for down payment to buy a house. So that is an acceptable source of gift funds. Now, when you go back and look at the relative and non-relative categories, as you can probably anticipate, it can be a little bit challenging to document these kinds of relationships. So we can help you with that. We've got a lot of experience with that. And so oftentimes I can help folks kind of get through that and make sure they're on solid ground as to the source of their down payment coming from gift funds. Now with FHA, what you're going to find is the gift donor requirements is a little bit different. And they can include the following: the borrower's family member, of course, that's obvious. And that usually means an immediate family member, brother, sister, mother, dad, grandma, grandpa, that kind of thing. But here's a new one: the borrower's employer or labor union. That's another source for gift funds for an FHA loan. Or FHA also allows a close friend with a clearly defined and documented interest in the borrower. Again, that can be a little tricky to document, but we can help you with that and at least explain to you what they're looking for. A charitable organization can be an acceptable gift donor, or a government agency or governmental agency or public entity that has a program providing home ownership assistance, there's a tongue twister, to low and moderate income families or to first-time homebuyers. So you can see some differences here between FHA and conventional in terms of sources of gift funds and the acceptable donors. Again, if you've got a particularly unique situation, feel free to talk to me and I can guide you through what's going to work and what's not going to work. One other comment about gift funds, and that has to do with the transferring of gift funds. There's two ways to do it. Quite often when we have a loan in process that's going to involve some gift funds being transferred, the borrower and the donor want to get that transfer done right away, even when we're just starting the loan process and we might be 30 or 45 days away from closing the deal. I always recommend not doing that early. The reason is it creates extra paperwork, and let me explain why that is. For one, we have to document the transfer of the funds from the donor to the borrower. Well, if you do that early in the process, then we've got extra paperwork involved. For one, we have to get a copy of an account statement from the donor to show they already had the money in their possession to provide the gift. So we have to get a copy of their bank statement. And then if the money is transferred to the buyer before the escrow is closed and it goes into the buyer's account, then we have to get another statement for the buyer's account to show that the money was received by the buyer or the borrower. So then we end up with these extra statements in the file. What I recommend is you're always better off in terms of cutting down on paperwork is transfer the gift funds at closing. What I mean by that is the donor would send the money, usually by wire, directly to the settlement agent, to the escrow office, right before closing. That way, we don't have to take the additional verification step of verifying and documenting the transfer of the money from the donor's account to the borrower's account, and then have to document the transfer from the borrower's account to the escrow office. You can bypass that middle step by just having the donor deliver the gift funds directly to the settlement agent, directly to the escrow, right before closing. And that's a benefit to the donor too, if you think about it, because then the donor hangs on to their gift funds longer before they have to part with it to give to whoever they're giving the gift funds to. So again, always better transfer the gift funds right before closing. It just allows for less paperwork. So hopefully that helps in terms of if you're going to use gift funds, who you can get the gift funds from, as well as what's the best way to transfer those funds to escrow in order for you to close your purchase. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned next week for another edition of Mortgage Minute. In the meantime, I'm Art Alvarez at MortgageWorks, where we do have the answers and they're on the house. Take care.